Welcome back to Law and Crime. If you're just joining us, I am Bob Bianchi. I'll be here for the next hour. We have a special guest here with us live from Boise, Idaho, to bring the latest update in the trial against Doomsday cult mom Lori Vallow Daybell. The 49-year-old defendant faces conspiracy and first-degree murder charges in the deaths of her two children, 7-year-old J.J. Vallow and 16-year-old Tylee Ryan. The third victim in her husband Chad's first wife, 49-year-old Tammy Daybell. Chad Daybell faces similar charges and would be tried separately. Court was dark yesterday, but on Friday, the jury heard from Zoe Lima Pastines, Lori's friend and her brother's widow. During her testimony, she touched on why everyone believed Lori. So let's listen to some of that explanation in this extremely twisted tale of these individuals, and really an unbelievable case.
During this meeting at your house, did you all believe her, that what you were doing had value?
Yes.
Okay. You say that very certainly. Why?
Lori is very convincing, vivacious way of expressing things, are very charming and believing, plus the fact that she had expressed before that she had been visited by all these heavenly beings. Therefore, if someone is telling the truth about that, I wouldn't be questioning them. I would be believing they're telling the truth, because I would never think that someone would lie about something as sacred as that.
Now, no cameras are allowed in the courtroom, but we have our very own Gigi McKelvey and there being our eyes and ears, is doing a tremendous job. Welcome, Gigi. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Okay, so listen, I hear Zulema returned to the stand today. What else did they have to touch on during her testimony and the relevance of her testimony?
Well, I think one thing that is important to note, unlike Melanie Gibbs, Zulema actually admitted that she believed what Lori and Chad were selling. Melanie Gibbs tried to walk back a little bit and say she wasn't sure what she believed, but Zulema openly admitted she did trust Lori and Chad and believed what they said. They talked about when Alex died, she got very emotional on the stand, almost started crying, and Lori watched her very intently throughout the rest of her testimony this morning while she was on cross.
Yeah, so obviously there was a cross-examination, and how did the end of her testimony go?
It was fine. There wasn't anything super explosive that was revealed. It was just sort of tying up those loose ends, talking about when Alex decided to go to Rexburg and to move there with Lori and the kids. And then, they had pressured her to move yet. She really did not want to move there, and she never did, in fact. She felt established in Arizona with her family, and she has kids and grandkids. So that was some of the things they discussed on the stand as to why she didn't go to Rexburg. They also talked a little bit about Thanksgiving when they were together in Arizona. He came to her house and talked about being newly engaged, and he had given her a ring, had been ring shopping, and as we know, they were married for 11 days before he dropped over dead the day after they exhumed Tammy Daybell's body, by the way.
Yeah, wow, okay. And Lori's eldest son, Colby, was called to the stand after that. What does he have to say about his mother, the defendant in this case?
Well, it was very tense in that courtroom. She seemed very happy to see him. He did not look at her. I caught maybe a couple of glances when she was talking to her attorneys and not facing him. But you can tell the hurt is there. He talked about Lori giving him money through Tylee's Venmo account, somebody texting him as if they were Tylee. And then they played a jailhouse call between the two of them. I'm curious about the date. of this call. They didn't make that clear. If they did, I missed it. But he's calling her out, saying that she murdered his siblings, and she's saying, you weren't there, you don't know what happened, and he's just telling her that he hopes she finds Jesus, and that he prays for her, and said that he's tried to forgive her and Chad, even though he did say he wanted to hit Chad Daybell in the face with a shovel.
Wow. I mean, like, this case really has so many twists and turns. But how did the jury react to that phone call?
You know, they were listening. This jury is so super focused. You could see some sympathy looks towards Colby's way. They also watched Lori, who, as far as I could tell, I'm sitting very close to her today. She kept eyes on him the entire time, maybe looking for some sort of a connection. But the one look that he gave his mom, I have to say, it was not a pleasant look. And she did not look over his way as he was looking, but you can tell that he is hurt and broken with everything that's happened, obviously.
Yeah, and that is such a big thing when the jurors are looking at the reaction of the defendant and a family witness. So much more is communicated in body language sometimes than in words. But we hear that Lori's sister, Summer, will be called today as well. Do you see her in the courtroom? Do you think that she will be called after lunch?
I have not seen her, but she is on the witness list. This has to do with another jailhouse call. I will add, by the way, at one point when Colby was on the stand, she did have a tissue wiping her eyes. I could not see her straight on, but it looked like she might have gotten a little emotional. But I'm assuming since Colby has testified, maybe we're going to have Summer here this afternoon. And it seems like, we're flying through this testimony. Cross-exam has been very short. They were very gentle with Colby on cross. They just reiterated that she raised him in a religious home, and even pulled some quotes of his from the book that he wrote, My God Over Odds, as well as the Sins of Our Mother documentary. Some things where he had said she had protected those kids her whole life. So they were gentle on him, and I'm sure that might have been at Lori's request, but also reiterated at times, and even recently he has acknowledged she took care of the kids for many, many years, and finally introduced until Chad Daybell. That was the first time we've ever heard Chad mentioned in kind of a negative way, but they did get that in, that when Chad came along, things just were very different.
Very interesting. And how long do you think the state has left in their case, and how long do you think the defense's cases will take if they put a defense on?
I mean, we're going through these witnesses pretty quickly. I know there's over 200 witnesses on the witness list. It doesn't mean they'll all testify. I've heard rumblings that the defense case may be very, very short. So, we could be maybe at deliberations in a few weeks. I just don't see this going 8 to 10 weeks like they say at this rate.
Okay. Anything else that you could just tell us just offhand that I haven't asked you that you think is noteworthy for our audience?
Well, I think it's been an emotional morning in that courtroom, especially with Colby, who has suffered a tremendous loss. His siblings, his stepdad, he was lied to about all 3 deaths. And so just full of emotion. Even with Zulema on the stand, there were some emotional times with her as well, recalling the day Alex died.
All right, Gigi, I heard prior to you getting on that you got to get off because you have to literally bolt back into that courtroom in order to be able to get through the gauntlet of the security system and do the great job that you're doing. So thanks for being on. Greatly appreciate it.
Thank you. Have a good day.
All right, same to you. And with that, we'll take a break. We'll be right back.